Trying to make sense of the past is a little like going exploring during a snowstorm. You can see bits and pieces of what's in front of you, but it's difficult to get the whole picture, and sometimes it hurts to try. We're glad we've never had to try to make sense of the discoveries you're about to see in this video, because they've frustrated plenty of scientists. Scientists and historians tell us that humans and dinosaurs never existed at the same time. There are a few exhibits at the Valdemar Jules Rude Museum in Acambaro, Mexico, that might challenge that statement. The museum is full of figurines that depict humans riding dinosaurs in the same way that we'd ride horses today. Allegedly, the figurines were found by a German immigrant to Mexico named Valdemar Julsrud in 1944. He was out riding through fields when he found the first figurine and persuaded the farmer to look for more. The farmer agreed on the basis that Valdemar would pay him 1 peso per discovery. Unsurprisingly, the farmer then discovered a whole 32,000 figurines. Examinations of the collection have revealed that almost all of them are forgeries that were created during the 20th century, probably by the farmer and his friends. There are still questions about some of them though, especially the first one that Valdemar found while out riding. Just because some of them are fake, it doesn't mean that they all are. Did our ancestors ride dinosaurs? Probably not, but you always have to leave a little room for doubt. Next is the fascinating mystery of the ancient Ubaid lizardmen, a set of unusual artifacts uncovered in the early 20th century at Tel al-Ubaid, near the cradle of civilization in modern-day Iraq. These 7,000-year-old figurines are intriguing because they portray humanoid figures with distinct reptilian features, challenging conventional views on the dawn of civilization in Mesopotamia. What's particularly entrancing about these artifacts is their unique appearance: long heads, almond-shaped eyes, and lizard-like noses. But it's not just their looks that's intriguing. It's the context in which they were found and the poses they were depicted in, such as a female figure nursing a lizard-headed baby, that baffles archaeologists. Unlike many historical artifacts that are clearly ritualistic in nature, these figures' purposes remain a mystery. They might not just be decorative or religious items, but could represent something much more significant in Ubaidian society. The Ubaidian culture itself is noteworthy for its advanced architectural, agricultural, and societal developments, predating the famous Sumerian civilization. The discovery of these figures opens up questions about the symbolism of reptiles in ancient cultures and their importance to the Ubaidians. The Codex Leicester, also known as the Codex Hammer, is a renowned collection of writings by Leonardo da Vinci. It's a profound illustration of the blend between art and science during the Renaissance era, showcasing da Vinci's thoughts and theories on topics like astronomy, the properties of water, and celestial light. Notably, it provides early insights into geological theories, such as the formation of mountains from ancient seabeds, centuries before these ideas were scientifically accepted. The manuscript is famous not only for its content, but also for being the most expensive book ever sold, when Bill Gates purchased it in 1994 for $30,802,500. The Codex consists of 72 pages filled with Leonardo's mirror writing, and is accompanied by detailed drawings and diagrams. The Codex's journey through history is fascinating, having passed through various hands, including art collector Armand Hammer, who renamed it and had it translated into English. After Bill Gates acquired the Codex, he digitized its pages and made them accessible, further contributing to its legacy. The Codex Leicester is occasionally displayed in museums worldwide, allowing the public a glimpse into Leonardo's genius mind. The Lost Labyrinth of Ancient Egypt, as described by ancient Greek historian Herodotus and other classical authors, was a colossal temple complex believed to predate even the pyramids. Thought by some to be a myth, this structure is said to have consisted of 3,000 rooms filled with hieroglyphs and intricate paintings, overshadowing the achievements of Greek architecture in both scale and grandeur. Herodotus, along with other historians like Manetho and Diodorus Siculus, provides tantalizing details about this ancient wonder, describing it as a massive complex with 12 covered courts and a myriad of interconnected chambers, both above and below ground, adorned with detailed carvings and surrounded by pillars. The labyrinth's exact purpose remains a mystery, as does its design. Was it an immense administrative or ceremonial complex, or a true maze meant to bewilder and ensnare? Despite varying accounts, the consistency in descriptions of its grandeur, complexity, and artistic beauty points to the labyrinth's real existence. Although modern times have seen debates about its authenticity and location, the consistent and vivid ancient descriptions, alongside recent archaeological evidence, suggest that the Lost Labyrinth was not just a figment of imagination, but a tangible piece of Egypt's monumental history. The helicopter hieroglyphs in the Temple of Seti I at Abidos have stirred controversy and fascination, particularly among UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. These individuals interpret the ancient Egyptian frieze as depicting advanced technology, such as helicopters, airplanes, and submarines, supposedly indicating that ancient civilizations had access to knowledge far beyond their time, perhaps given by time travelers or extraterrestrial beings. However, this theory is not supported by mainstream archaeology. In contrast, archaeologists and scholars provide a rational explanation based on the practice of carving over older hieroglyphs, a common occurrence when a new pharaoh ascended to the throne. The so-called helicopter and other modern-looking images are actually the result of overlapping inscriptions from the reigns of Seti I and Ramses II. Over time, the plaster covering the original carvings eroded, blending two separate images into one. This phenomenon, combined with the human tendency for pareidolia, perceiving familiar patterns where none exist, explains the misinterpretation of the hieroglyphs. Digital imaging has further clarified that these engravings do not depict modern machinery, debunking the notion of ancient advanced technology depicted in the hieroglyphs. The Saqqara bird really shouldn't be such a big mystery. After all, it's just a tiny ancient Egyptian hand carving. What could be so mysterious about that? The answer is that its proportions are perfectly engineered to be capable of flight. If you threw this 2,200-year-old artifact off the top of a mountain, it would glide perfectly, with just the same aerodynamic efficiency as any glider we'd be capable of making today. Although the artifact has a bird's head, the rest of it looks more like a plane than anything avian. The wings are featherless, flat, thin, and tapered. The tail is square. During the 1970s, a curious group of students scaled up the Saqqara bird to make a plane-sized replica and demonstrated that it could both fly and glide without any tailoring required. If this had been made in the past decade, we wouldn't hesitate to call it a model aircraft. But the ancient Egyptians had no aircraft to use as reference guides when making models. Might this have been a flying child's toy of some kind? Or did the person who made this understand the basic principles of flight, even if they couldn't make a powered flying machine? The big circles found in the Middle East, specifically in Turkey, Syria, and Jordan, are one of the world's enduring archaeological mysteries. These structures, which date back at least 2,000 years, consist of stone walls formed into near-perfect circles, each approximately 1,300 feet in diameter. Despite their precise construction, their purpose remains unknown. They were first noted by aircraft in the 1920s, but it's only in the past decade that focused efforts, led by David Kennedy of the University of Western Australia, have intensified to map and understand these enigmatic creations. Unlike the Nazca lines, these circles cannot be attributed to any practical function, such as animal enclosures, due to their low height of the walls and their meticulous shape. Kennedy's aerial survey work has shed more light on these circles, but the on-the-ground investigations have been limited due to the remote locations of the structures. The big circle's construction could have involved a simple architectural technique using a long rope to mark out the circles, indicating some form of organized planning and effort. Despite recent studies and high-resolution imaging, the creators and the intended use of these ancient circles continue to elude archaeologists, making them one of the intriguing, unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. The Quimbaya artifacts of Colombia are beautifully decorative artifacts and fine examples of ancient craftsmanship. Is there more to them than that, though? The objects, which range in age between 2,300 and 3,000 years, are sometimes also called the Tolima artifacts and have only ever been found in the region around Bogota, the country's capital city. More than 100 of them have been discovered so far. While many archaeologists consider them to be nothing more than stunning examples of zoomorphic figurines, they don't all appear to be based on living creatures. Some of them can easily be identified as bats, birds, fish, or insects, but others don't look like any other known creature. It's these anomalous artifacts that pose a problem, because rather than being based on animals, they appear to have distinct fuselages, wings, stabilizers, and other features that you'd find on a modern aircraft. They also have perfect aerodynamic properties, which means that if you scaled one of them up and launched it, it would be capable of flying and gliding. How could such knowledge be available to people living so long ago? Waun Mawn in Pembrokeshire, Wales, is a site believed to have hosted a Neolithic stone circle, with estimations suggesting it might have been the third largest of its kind in Britain, with a diameter of around 360 feet. Only 4 stones remain today, hinting at a past that may have been more grandiose. Excavations by archaeologists Mike Parker Pearson and his team from University College London propose that this site could have originally contained a significant circle comparable to Stonehenge. Intriguingly, the team suggests that stones from Waun Mawn may have been transported and reassembled at Stonehenge, particularly due to the matching shapes and orientations towards the midsummer solstice. However, the narrative of Waun Mawn has been subject to debate. Following recent work and studies, Pearson's hypothesis faced scrutiny, as new findings suggest a weaker connection between Waun Mawn and Stonehenge than previously thought. Moreover, geological studies have dismissed links between Waun Mawn and supposed bluestone quarries associated with Stonehenge. A study published in 2024 critically revisits the archaeological evidence, arguing against the existence of a significant stone circle at Waun Mawn and challenging the romanticized linkage with Stonehenge. This controversy underscores the complexities and uncertainties within archaeological interpretation and the narratives constructed around ancient sites. The Tower of Hercules, located near A Coruña in Galicia, Spain, stands as the oldest functioning Roman lighthouse in existence. Constructed in the 2nd century, this ancient structure measures 180 feet in height and boasts a rich history entwined with myths and legends, including tales of Hercules and the giant Geryon. Despite being a beacon of ancient engineering, the tower's origins and exact purposes continue to spark debate among historians and archaeologists. Over the centuries, the Tower of Hercules has been renovated and repurposed, evolving from its original design while maintaining its historical essence. Its strategic location along the perilous Costa da Morte, or Coast of Death, underlines its enduring importance in maritime navigation. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the tower is not only a symbol of ancient Roman ingenuity, but also a testament to the cultural legacy of the region, intertwining Celtic, Greco-Roman, and medieval narratives. Today, the Tower of Hercules serves as a cultural and historical monument, drawing visitors and scholars keen to explore its mysteries and the storied coastline it guards. The Tomb of the Eagles, located on South Ronaldsay in Orkney, Scotland, is a significant Neolithic site, famously discovered by farmer Ronald Simison in 1958. Known for its unique human and bird remains, the tomb has provided a fascinating glimpse into ancient life, with over 16,000 human bones from at least 324 individuals, alongside talons and bones of white-tailed sea eagles. Intriguingly, the eagle's remains were added up to a millennium after the tomb was constructed, suggesting the site's long-term significance and use by Neolithic communities. The tomb's design demonstrates sophisticated architectural and engineering skills, and radiocarbon dating indicates it was actively used for around 800 years, with the last burial around 1600 BCE. The site was accessible via a low tunnel, where visitors could enter by lying flat on a wheeled trolley, highlighting the advanced planning and consideration of its builders. However, despite its historical importance and the insights it provides into Neolithic life, Including evidence of energetic lifestyles and injuries consistent with violent encounters, the tomb is no longer open to the public due to safety concerns. This closure marks the end of direct public engagement with one of Orkney's most enigmatic ancient sites. Carving a huge temple out of a single piece of rock by hand strikes us as the most difficult way of possibly creating a building. That hasn't stopped people from doing it, though. This is the Kailasa Temple in India, which is the single largest monolithic building in the world. It's been carved into a cave on the side of a mountain, and it took 20 years to finish it. Ancient Hindus performed the labor, which is rumored to have been ordered by a Hindu king who had prayed to the god Shiva to save his wife from sickness, and had seemingly had his prayers answered. Work was completed around 1,300 years ago. It's not the only example of such a structure either. A scale model of the Kailasa Temple has also been built in South India, and this one goes by the name of Vetuvan Coil. It's roughly the same shape as Kailasa Temple and bears many of the same markings, although this one was scraped out of a hillside as opposed to being carved into a mountain. Curiously, Vetuvan Coil is unfinished. It's possible that Vetuvan Coil was intended to be a prototype or test build for Kailasa Temple, but why wouldn't they finish one before starting the other? Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!